The following is brought to you by Fair Dinkum Coffee Company.
You're listening to the Smells Like Middle-Aged Spirit podcast.
What smells so bad?
It's strong, but you'll get used to it. Now here's your hosts, Nick Stevenson and
buddy.
Chris Clark.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Whatever time of day it is, wherever you may be listening in the world, welcome to episode 24 of the Smells Like Middle-Aged Spirit podcast. As always, my name is Nick Stevenson. I am just one of your gracious and humble hosts. Christopher Clark, aka the Hype Gorilla, is in the building. And we have a very special guest joining us. Chris and I affectionately know her as Miss Taylor, but her name is Taylor Brooks. And it's good to have you here finally, Taylor. Taylor has been teaching our girls to dance since 2017. Was it?
Crazy.
I think it's 16.
Was it 2016?
I think it's 2016, yeah.
You could be right. It might be 2016.
I think.
It's been a while.
Yes. You're not tired of us yet, but and Taylor is definitely qualified to do it. I'm very happy to have you here, and we've enjoyed having you as a part of our circle, and we're excited to finally have you on the podcast. Taylor is currently running a dance program called Miss Taylor's Dance Academy for the Harris County Precinct number 2.
Correct.
And COVID-19 kind of changed things for you.
For sure.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, because the kids were going to the community center on a regular basis. And I mean, it's a great program you've got there. And we'll get you to talk about it a little bit more. But Taylor is actually a UT graduate. Holler at those Longhorns. And you have a degree in human development and family science with a specialization in early childhood. Man, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
I had to practice saying that like 3 times earlier today.
Just a long word for what makes kids tick.
There you go. That's what they should call it. We got to simplify this stuff. So once again, we're glad to have you here. And
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
the great thing for us having you here is it's kind of a twofold purpose. Like, we want to give you the props you deserve for what you've done for our family, but also what you're doing in the community is a really great thing. So we thought we'd give our listeners an opportunity to get to know you. We've shouted you out a couple times before, and hopefully we brought some people your way.
You did.
That's
Thank
good.
you for that.
That's good. Not a problem. So what we want to do today is let's get to know, because we've known you since 2016, 2017, but we don't know you. And we've, obviously we trust our kids with you, but we want to get to know, like, who is Taylor Brooks? What is she about? What drives her? What motivates her? And then what things do you have planned for the future, both with COVID-19 going on and post-COVID-19? So
Awesome.
We're excited to have that conversation. So first of all, I hear you are a product of Pasadena Memorial High School.
I am. I was on
Okay.
the drill team all 4 years at Pasadena Memorial.
And you just dare to hang out in Deer Park, huh?
I know, right? My dad feels the exact same way. My dad's like, ooh, Deer Park people. I'm like, no. I hang out with them folks. Like, come on now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not from here, but we're decent peeps, So let's talk about, because dance is your thing. And
Right.
if anybody follows you on social media, this is pretty much what they're going to see. Mm-hmm. And what's so cool about that is it's your passion, it's your life, and now you get to do it for a living. But let's talk about how you got there. What was little Taylor Brooks in Pasadena growing up like? How old were you when you started dancing? What gave you the passion to do it?
I started dancing when I was 2.5.
Wow.
And
Not long after walking, huh?
oh yeah, believe it or not, it was like right in front of the TV watching Barney. I love you, all the whole 9 yards.
Barney used to jam.
And my parents just decided to put me in studio. And granted, at that age, I was a wild child. Like, I would run around the classroom. I would be put in timeout. My mom was like, I'm not paying money for this. So we tried a bunch of different avenues. We tried T-ball. That didn't really work out because I ran the bases backwards. We didn't know what first base was. We just ran straight to third.
Right.
We were doing cartwheels in the outfield. We were picking dandelions,
Yeah, we got one of those.
And so
Yeah,
my parents were
yeah.
finally like, you know what? We'll just put her back into dance. Let's see how she does this time around. And something clicked. And here we are.
So this was around
something
3
years later.
Wow.
This was around 3 or 4 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was your favorite style of dance as a kid?
Well, my very first styles that I was used to was acrobatics, ballet, and tap.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until I was introduced to hip hop that I found my favorite, and that's always been my
Hip
favorite.
hop's been your jam
Oh,
since.
for sure.
That's what's up. And you're excellent at it. I remember I saw a video when you were at your former place of employment, which we won't mention. But I saw a video you had posted, and like, okay, I'd been watching you at Starlights doing drill,
Yeah.
and, the kicks and I saw Taylor getting down to some hip hop, and I was like, hold up, is that what? Okay, I see you.
If you go down like the YouTube rabbit hole, you'll find Texas dance and all of that stuff,
Yeah.
dancing on the tower and all of that. But,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. I was like, okay, she's definitely qualified to teach our girls a little bit of hip hop dance.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
This is gonna sound fucked up, but like, and first of all, let me keep in mind that you work with kids, so I'll be careful about my language. But so this is gonna sound messed up though, but I was honestly concerned about how people in this area, like, really, how are y'all gonna teach hip hop? Like, let's keep it real. And that's probably, I would call that a prejudice. Possibly. Which, I'm admitting it. I apologize. Like, I was just concerned. Like, really, how are they going to teach hip hop out here?
Yeah.
But Taylor does the damn thing. I'm impressed.
That
Start
was
with the basics and then work our way up from there.
that was Zoe's favorite class, man. That
And
was
Zoe
Zoe's.
did a bang up job.
That
this
was
year.
her jam.
She was so cute.
Yeah.
She got her little niche, and if she don't like it, she's gonna tell you straight up, Dad, I don't like this. I don't like it. I don't want to do it again.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh okay, but like, that,
Which she's done a couple times.
yes, you got to push to the end.
Yeah.
And after we watched that dance recital, I was like,
Is it-
come here. I was like, you are amazing at the hip hop. You did phenomenal.
Yeah. She did really good.
She's like, I like the hip hop. I don't like anything else. I don't like the ballet shoes.
yeah.
I like the ballet
don't
dancing.
blame her.
I don't like the ballet shoes. I'm like,
Yeah.
fair enough. Like, that's a logical reason. I
All right,
get
so
that.
we're gonna have a little Taylor Jr. on our hands. Let's see what's going on. So you're 4 or 5 years old. You decide, okay, like hip hop's my thing. So I know that girls are different from boys. When we were boys, we had no idea what we wanted to do. When we were growing up, we probably changed our mind every 15 seconds, and we didn't really have a plan. We're just like, I'm gonna be Batman. Like, but having girls, like, girls are very structured, motivated.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they have a plan.
Yep.
Like, even my 8-year-old, when I was like, and I have a son, nothing like that. Like, he has no clue what he wants to do. He reminds me of myself, and he's not even my biological son. But so what was young Taylor like? Did you have a plan? Did you know what you were gonna do? You're like, I'm gonna dance, and here's the path I'm gonna take?
When I first started, it was just like, let's do this for fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then my studio at the time didn't have a competition team until I was probably in 4th or 5th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I finally joined it. And once competition hit, it was like, oh,
Yeah,
I see the trophies. I see what I can get now.
some bling bling.
Yes. And so I started doing that, and I started competing in 4th and 5th grade.
Wow.
And I mean, I can't explain to you like what it felt like to be on that
The
stage
rush.
for the first time.
Yeah.
Like, I still remember it so vividly.
And see, I feel that, dude,
Yeah.
because when we went to, I guess it was a cheer competition when Fallon was in Starlights.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'm sitting in that chair. I'm sitting in the stands,
Yeah.
and I'm anxious as hell. Like, my heart's
Yeah.
racing.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being there with all that pressure and then coming out on top. It just,
Yeah, especially then, she had never done it before. So
dude,
when you
it-
get your first taste, though, and I feel like what probably happened for you is like you got that first taste of it, and let's admit, when you're a dancer, you're kind of a ham. Like you like people looking at you, right?
Oh, there's just like a small portion of you that's like, I'm the center of attention.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so you kind of dig it, and then you do well, and everybody's clapping for you and telling you what a great job you did, and then like at that point you're hooked. You're like, I got to keep doing this. So
I think it was the rhinestones, though. Not gonna lie, all the sparkle. Yeah.
That's what brought our girls in initially, and then they
uniforms.
actually that's what they wanted. They wanted to be sparkly.
Yep, Fallon wanted that uniform. I said, you got to work for it. You got to earn it. They don't just give you a uniform. You got to go in there and you got to get it.
Yeah, so I think that's really cool. So you do your first competition, and so you do dance all the way for the rest of your school career, for the rest of your life.
And believe it or not, like my career as a dance educator, I mean, can I just say like the dance life chose me?
Yeah.
Because like it really did. I got out of college and I went to San Jac South and got my associates in dance. Mm-hmm. And then from there, all the jobs just started lining up. And I was like, what's going on?
Wow.
And I just rolled with it.
Wow.
And here we are.
That's cool. That's very cool. So in high school, you're on drill team?
Mm-hmm.
How was how was Pasadena Memorial drill team? Like,
so we didn't really have like the best name at Pasadena Memorial High School, but I will say this, drill team taught me my essentials of what I needed in everyday life. Okay. And though I went through some pretty like Lifetime movie, like drama moments,
right?
Which, in high school.
Yes, of course.
Absolutely.
But even though I went through those moments, I mean, those were the stepping stones, man. Yeah. It was the best thing ever.
Yeah. That's cool. Did you feel like you stood out? You can
maybe
admit
a tad.
You can admit it. You stood out.
the drill team at the time, they didn't really have too many dancers that were technically trained. Mm-hmm. And so standing out like a sore thumb on the drill team, when you have 10 plus years of dance training, it's like, whoa.
Okay. So you went to UT. I'll ask, was that for dance? Were you offered scholarship, or did you? My
dad was the biggest person in getting me into UT.
Oh yeah.
I grew up watching the UT football games.
Wow.
Yeah, buddy.
Big old UT fan at heart. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to that school. Yeah. And when it came around to my senior year, they had all the college fairs and stuff. And I was like, should I look around?
Yeah.
Like, what should I do?
Yeah.
And my dad was like, no, going to UT. I was like,
way to go, Dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had everything.
You're going to have to open up that checkbook to go to UT, though.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still paying for that one, unfortunately. But that piece of paper sure does look pretty.
Yeah. That's cool. So you get to UT, and your major is human development and family science, specialization in early childhood. So at that point, did you not foresee dance being your career?
I really didn't. The goal when I went into UT was to come out and be a pediatrician.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then, again, went to San Jac, took a year off for me and really did dance for a year. And the dance jobs just started coming in, and I was like, oh, well,
that's cool.
Nice little change of path. We're going to take it.
Wow.
So have you been working with mostly kids for your whole dance career?
Oh, yeah. I have done a few adult classes, but majority of them.
I'm waiting.
Hey, it's exclusive, like right here. You're getting the exclusive. Adult classes are coming.
Okay.
So
I'm ready. I'm gonna have to drop a few. I'm gonna have to drop a few, but I'm gonna do this.
We help you drop.
Come on, Chris. We'll do it together,
bro.
Come on, we'll wear our t-shirts and everything.
I'm telling you don't want
put you in a unitard.
You don't want none of this on no dance floor, rolling around like a sausage casing. Like I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna root for you, Nick. I'm gonna root for you. How about that?
Come on, man. We could have a dance battle with a different podcast, like a dance off. Man, that's cool. Well, I'm waiting. You let me know when that happens. I'm gonna embarrass the shit out of my kids. Cannot wait. All right. So, what was the dance program at UT like? I mean, right now, I always get them confused with A&M. They do have a drill team. One of them doesn't have cheerleaders.
It's not really a drill. We don't really have a drill team. We have cheerleaders, and we have like what's called a pom squad.
A&M doesn't have cheerleaders.
We have like a pom squad that acts as like dancers and cheerleaders, and then we have a cheer squad that does the cheerleading, and then you have what I was on, which is the competitive dance team.
Gotcha.
And we travel to Daytona, Florida every year, and we do.
Oh, nice.
Like, if you could imagine Bring It On, like in real life,
Yeah.
like that's what we experienced. It was,
Okay.
we were mixed with the cheerleaders, seeing all of that in the action.
All
We were
the drama.
The broken noses, the whole nine.
Oh,
The
man.
whole thing. But yeah, it was such a good time. Like, that was the highlight of college.
You had fun in college.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, UT's a party school. We talked about that. That's like, I think they do a ranking of like the top 25 party schools. Like every year, UT's in the top 10.
Definitely one of them.
But somehow you managed to stay grounded, and you graduated with what was your degree? You said you got your
Bachelor's of Science.
bachelor's in science, and then you went to get associates in
Mm-hmm.
dance afterward. So I mean, you got the piece of paper, like you said, you're still paying for it, but I mean, talk
gotten me
about
places.
the college experience, because that's one thing I never experienced. That it's one of those things you kind of feel like, man, that would have been really cool. Not a lot of people get to experience that. So just talk about what it was like being on the campus. And
So when I moved to Austin, I knew nobody.
Mm-hmm.
I moved there. It was like, we're just going to do this. Like, let's
Wow.
go.
yeah,
And so at that point in time, my parents were like, you're going to be in the all girls dormitory. I was like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
And so at
You hear
that
that,
point in
Maddie?
time, at that point in time, the system chose your roommate unless you had someone you knew.
okay.
Well, my roommate was chosen, and needless to say, I will never go through that again. I went through that 2 years in a row, and I was like, oh, man. The second year wasn't as bad.
So what? Like they just assign you somebody random?
It's called potluck.
It's not like Match.com. They find out if you're
Nope. No.
they find out if
Yeah.
you're compatible with one another.
No.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be cool with that either.
No, I don't know. I don't know about all
And
that.
It's
plus
hard
it-
having roommates that you do know,
Yeah.
Yes.
who you are friends with, because like, I mean, I lived with my buddy for a couple of weeks, and I was like, yeah, dude, I love you, bro, but this ain't gonna work. Like,
This
if
ain't
we want
gonna
to
cut
save,
it.
if we want to save our friendship,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to find somewhere
Oh,
else
yeah.
to go. So that's got to be difficult to live with
for
a stranger.
sure.
But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. You're telling us about the college experience.
Yeah, the roommate situation, I mean, but my third year, I finally got like a private dorm because I was a junior.
Ooh.
And it was right by like the football stadium.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And then the part of the senioritis of like, I need my own apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In college got to me.
Yeah.
And I went and got my own apartment with a roommate that I barely knew. Again, you would think I would have learned.
Yeah.
And no. No, not happening anymore. So
What's the price difference in living on campus and living in an apartment?
you can find cheaper options off campus.
Really?
Yeah. But when you, like with UT, when you lived on campus, you had the option of getting like a meal package with your dorm.
Gotcha.
And so that was like the big benefit right there.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not trying to brag, but I was in college for a total of like 2.5 weeks. No big deal.
No big deal. No big deal.
That's-
That you're not alumni until you graduate, right? Or are you alumni just because you went there?
I mean, you gave them money.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true, man. That's true. No, because so I've been to Austin as an older person. Whitney and I went a couple years ago, and for some reason I don't know why. When I was younger, just never went. But you know, it's legendary. You hear go to 6th Street. Like,
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
go down there and have a good time. So Whitney and I decided it was our first dating anniversary. We're like, let's go to Austin and be young, and we go out there.
Do the
We're out there for like 15 minutes, and there's college kids everywhere. They're drunk, they're loud, they're stupid, they're crashing into shit, and I'm like, man, let's go get a margarita at the restaurant by the hotel and go to
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah. Oh,
Like I couldn't
yeah.
do it. And I don't know. It's one of those things. It's not like I have regret that I didn't do it, but it's interesting. What I'm curious about, like if you decide one day, because I mean you're on a really good path. You're 27 years old, is what you told me, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you're involved in the
I
community.
couldn't believe that when I heard that.
Yeah, you're.
I could
Really?
not believe. I was like,
But I mean, you're young, you're involved in the community. I mean, you could possibly work your way to running for mayor someday.
Oh, thanks.
If Taylor Brooks runs for mayor, is there going to be some crazy college story out there that you wish wouldn't get out that your opponent's going to be like?
There really isn't. Like, I really didn't party much.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
I was the person that was like, put me on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might find some crazy dance videos, but I mean, other than that,
Yeah.
it goes
yeah.
with my brand.
Yeah. See,
There you go.
those are the people who need to run for office. Like, run for office and don't have any skeletons in the closet, and you'll be fine. So,
Very true.
Yeah. But, I mean, I find you, and I know Chris does as well, like, we just find you an impressive individual. And we're thankful that you came into our girls' lives. I told you that you actually came into Maddie's life at a very critical point, because she had just come to live with us, and we had just gotten custody of her. And the mood around the house when she first got there, she was happy to be there, but it was all different. And she was worried about not having friends. Yeah, not having friends. She was worried about not knowing anybody. And she had gotten really good at being the new kid, though, because of moving around as much as she did. And she used to like tell me, like, when she decided to be in Starlights, she's like, okay, the first thing I'm going to say to the girls when I get there is this. Like, she was practicing how to make friends all over again. Like, she'd gotten really good at it. But she was nervous. She was scared. I don't remember if you were at the very first practice she went to, but she left in tears because she couldn't pick up the moves. Like, she just didn't know what to do. And I'm like, baby, it was your first day. Like, but she left crying. Like, I think it was
I think I was there.
you were there,
was
and you were
there.
trying to teach them. Tell me if I say this incorrectly. Sachet ball change.
Chasse.
Chasse. Okay, I was
That's one
close.
of the hardest ones to say.
There's a lot of hard ones to say, but okay. So chasse. Mm-hmm. That's right. Okay, ball change. Yeah, that was the one move. Thank you. That was the one move that she was having a hard time with, and like Whitney and Haley were bringing her home to do it, and I thought she was gonna quit, man. Like, I didn't.
Really?
Yes, I thought she was gonna quit. She was like in tears, bro. And
Heck, look at her now.
I know when you look,
Good God, man.
when you look at her now, and I'm so thankful because you were tough on her at times, and I'm not one of those parents who's like, hey, don't be tough on my kid. Like, she needed to hear it from somebody, because if I say it, like, she knows that I'm still gonna, oh, I love you.
Right.
When somebody else is kind of getting on her butt a little bit, now she's like, okay, I got to pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
And just the relationship that you guys developed and the passion that I think she derived from you. I mean, I'm just really blessed, and it could have been anybody, but I'm just really happy that it was you. And that's why we've been following you around for the last 4 or 5 years.
You have a
wherever
little
you
star
go.
on your hands, man. She's got
Man.
natural talent.
Yeah, and I tell her all the time, I'm like, you put your focus in, like, this could take you through college.
Yeah.
Like, this could
Yeah, absolutely.
save your dad a whole lot of money. But we're just super thankful. And so I want to get to what you're doing now. The reason we followed you to the Harris County Precinct 2, because you had been at a previous place of employment.
Right.
Things weren't working out there for you. And then I think you told me your future was a little bit in question at that point.
Oh, for sure.
So talk
yeah.
about that process and how you got started doing what you're doing now.
So at my previous place of employment, of course, things really didn't work out. I was living with somebody at the time, somebody that I thought was like my forever.
Right.
And it took me a couple of months to just kind of get on my own 2 feet. And going to my original, well, not original, I can't really say that, but my place of employment at the time was Dancegate by Joyce.
Okay.
And so I kept going there
Okay.
as much as I could, subbing, picking up places. And I would make a way for myself of saying, hey, I'm doing private lessons. Whoever wants to come out, I'll be right here. I'll schedule you. Just let me know.
Right.
Well, that filled up. And I was like, okay, well,
Yeah.
let's keep going.
Right.
And believe it or not, the universe has its ways, man. A dad came into my life and was like, hey, I think you're good at what you do. Can you come do this for Harris County Precinct 2? And I was like, at first I was like, I don't know. Can I have that on my own? I was like, you want me, a young kid, trying to do that?
Yeah.
And sure enough, within a year, Miss Taylor's Dance Academy was built. And boom, bam, pow, here we are.
Right.
Wow.
Everything just kind of fell into place. And I have Jose Jimenez to thank for that.
Yes.
Wow.
Jose, thank you very much.
Now, is he a county employee?
He is.
Okay.
Yeah. So he kind of had the inside track, and thank goodness he had the clout to pull that off and get you into it. So when it started, I think you mentioned it was supposed to be strictly a program for kids with autism.
It did. So when we first started talking about the idea, it was like, hey, can you do something for kids on the spectrum? I was like, heck yeah, I've worked with kids on the spectrum since I could work with kids.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was probably like the hardest portion, to sit back and figure out what's a sensory friendly class. Where do I have the lights during the class? Where should I have the music? What options should I give the parents? And
Yeah, that's deep. That's heavy stuff.
There's a lot that goes into that, man.
Yeah.
There really
originally,
is.
the whole program was named something totally different, and it was called Spectrum Dance Academy.
Okay.
Strictly for autistic kids.
Wow.
And I was like, I think it was Jose that came up to me and was like, hey, what do you think about opening it up to everybody? I was like, well, yeah, that's pretty easy, you know?
Yeah.
I could do that.
Yeah.
And we opened up the floodgates. We put it on social media. Here you go. We're getting phone calls. Within our first session, we filled up to almost 70 kids. And I was like, holy moly.
Yeah.
Wow.
There really is a market out there for something like this.
So we were talking about putting Maddie back in the studio that you had formerly been employed at. And then we found out you weren't there. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I mean, she had other instructors teaching her jazz and tap and stuff. But, I mean, you were the reason we went there in the first place. And so I don't want to say Maddie's dance future was up in the air. But it was like, man, do we want to... I mean, Taylor's the one who's gotten her to this point, like, and give her some consistency. And so the second we found out you were doing the thing for Harris County, we were like, oh yeah, that's the jam. Oh, and it's free. Done, son.
Yeah.
That is my kind of dance schooling right there, son.
Well, see, like the arts here in this area of Texas, I feel like is really failing.
Yeah.
We're starting to just kind of fall off the planet, you know? And
I think arts in general
yes.
is starting to fail. And whether it's music, you know, I think dance probably, I don't know. I think dance has a chance of surviving more than music.
I agree with that.
Because people just don't play instruments anymore.
Dude, live music is truly a thing of the past. It just it doesn't exist anymore.
And
it doesn't.
You know, I understand that there's a lot of powerful people, there's a lot of money involved, but I think the less people do it, the less kids who are doing it. That's kids who become adults who don't understand the importance and the value of it. And these are the ones who are going to be making the decisions. Yeah. And that's why we're thankful for people like yourself and to get on the community. And number one, you're keeping kids off the streets. They're not out, you know, doing drugs, doing stuff they're not supposed to do. They're exercising, which I could use a little bit of that. That's why I'm waiting for this adult class. You know, they're exercising, they're getting physical activity, and it's just giving them culture. And I don't know, it's kind of depressing sometimes. You're absolutely right about the state of that. And when you do find a place that you might like it's going to cost you an arm and a leg half the time because, I mean, they need the resources. And, you know, the fewer people who are doing it, the more those resources fall on the individual. The more people who are doing it, you can spread those resources out a little bit.
So that is something I do want to bring up. Why is it that these competition dance studios are so expensive? Why does it cost such an arm and a leg to do these programs?
So a majority of what you're paying for in a studio like that, number one, you're paying for the training, obviously.
Of course.
Secondly, every competition you sign up for, every costume you get, there's a fee tacked onto that. For us, not us, I never really did it, but the behind the scenes people to sit back and say, I'm going to put this in the computer.
Right. There's a fee to
fee to everything.
There's no expense. There's no overhead expense.
The big overhead is probably your building.
Okay.
Of course.
Right.
The electricity to run it. I know, like where I was at previously, we would really check the AC and we had to be sure the AC was off.
Right.
But yeah, every little thing
So you're saying
walls.
there's a fee attached for the guy typing in the computer size extra small
in order to pay them. If they're not teachers.
Gotcha.
In order to pay them.
Okay.
But when you sit back and you look at
That feels
a costume,
like it's not a satisfactory answer to Grace.
I know, but
I
when
don't
you
like that.
when you sit back and you look at the costumes, depending on, and this could
And they're beautiful
vary.
costumes.
You
I've
can
seen-
have like what we had, a very simple one piece. Here, throw it on over your leotard kind of costume, which would cost you anywhere between $20 to $40.
Right.
Which is y'all just paid that. You didn't pay me at all.
Right?
That to me is logical. That to me
Exactly.
is
Yes.
that makes fine. That makes physical sense
Right.
to do something like that. Some of these other things, like
It begs the question, if Taylor can do what she's doing and not charge kids and
Yes.
only charge for uniforms and like what I understand what you're saying. Like what in the world?
what makes the costume $300?
It also comes down to really the person running it, how much money they're wanting to make.
Of course,
You know what I mean? And
I
your
understand
profit.
that. I understand that.
But for me, it was never about money. It was never about something that of monetary value. It was like, I want these kids to dance. I
Right.
want them to see the joy it brings. And
Yeah.
and second of all, I want to teach them the old time music.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's get back
Yeah,
to the
of course.
time when there's no
course.
cussing in there.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the time when the beats were there.
Yeah.
No auto-tune.
Yeah.
People
Yes.
were actually singing. I got you. I got you.
Hence why my first show was Dancing Through the Decades. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you get to a point when you're an adult, I think you just pause on the music and type of music you're interested in. Like you just, I'm going to hit pause button right here. It's like my dad, he hit pause in like 1978.
I'm guilty of it.
Yeah. I probably
guilty of
hit
it.
pause in like, I'll say 2004, 2005. That's probably when I hit pause.
Yeah.
Everybody's guilty of it. But what's cool about your class is because you're 27 years old, but you still jam some stuff I jammed back in the day. So like you're old enough to where now my kids are dancing to music that I listen to. Like I think everybody knows, like I was the ultimate Michael Jackson fanatic from the time I could walk to
Favorite.
yeah, like that was my jam. And anytime we had a family get together, Nick, do the Michael Jackson dance. And I had the hat, I had the glove, like I was ready.
I need to see this.
Oh man. Oh,
I was
God.
ready at all times. And so
What's that hat that you wear called? A fedora.
the fedora,
Yes.
yeah. I had dude, I kept those ready for those moments, like at all times. It's funny, just like in my back pocket, like it's funny you ask. But so I grew up on that, and to see one of Maddie's favorite songs, like she has a list of like my favorite songs, and sometimes I'll trickle through it, and it's funny because a lot of it is stuff that either myself or her mom used to listen to, and there's
Yeah.
like several Michael Jackson songs, and then I'm like, yes. And then she did when she was at the studio that you worked at previously. They did you guys did a bunch of Michael Jackson stuff, and
Yes.
that was freaking awesome. Like I was so excited to see
Yeah.
that. So that's first of all, if you have any kids, to any of our listeners, and you're in the area of Precinct 2, which tell us everything that Precinct 2, all the ground that it covers
Oh
again.
my. We cover well over 500 miles. Baytown, Deer Park, LaPorte, Pasadena, Seabrook, North Shore, Galena Park. I need
We
to go
have
a little bit
listeners in
more,
all of these areas, by
Yeah.
the way. So
a little more west. I can't remember. We're quite
everywhere,
a ways.
everywhere.
Yes.
Let's see. What would you say the cutoff is if you were going west? Pearland?
Pearland's Brazoria County.
That's right. It is. So
The only
what's-
reason I know that's because I work there.
That's right. So you're in Friendswood.
It's pretty close to that, though.
Would Friendswood be a part of
Yes.
Precinct 2? Okay. So all over out here. Look, if you have kids, you want to keep them busy and you want something fun for them to do. Now, here's the issue. Right now, you're only in the one community center here, right? So, like, what's the ultimate goal? What's the ultimate plan? Like,
Ultimate plan is to have this program accessible to every kid in Precinct 2. So that means every community center, every single community center will have a staff member or 2 or 3 people that are running this program that is
So-
just like what I'm giving the
Miss
kids
Taylor
right now.
needs some volunteers, is what you're saying.
I need staff. Yes, I do. That's the next step, though, is to talk to the higher ups and be like, hey, look, here's what we have.
Yeah.
Here's what we've done.
Right.
And off we go. You
Wow.
know? We actually have been requested in a bunch of other community centers. It's just a matter of having the people to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're a dancer and you want to have some fun teaching some kids, the best way to get a hold of you is still your email address.
Yes.
It's Taylor's Dance Academy at
Gmail.
gmail.com. Okay. We've tossed that out before. I'm super excited to see what happens with it and where it goes. You gave me a little bit of breaking news both yesterday and today.
did.
If you want to give that exclusive to our Smells Like Middle Age Spirit podcast listeners.
Coming on Monday, Harris County Precinct 2 is opening up the parks, the splash pads.
Nice.
So you'll be able to actually get into the parks. And with that comes outdoor programming. So possibly having the program outside, dancing outside, and having all sorts of fun things for the
That
kids.
would be awesome.
That would be.
That'd be awesome.
Man.
Let's dance on the splash pad. That's what I want.
I know, right?
Dude,
like dancing in the
something.
rain.
Yes. Yes. Let's just get the kids outside.
That, dude, it's been
Get
way
them out of
too
the
long.
house, yes.
It's been way too long.
That's another thing that I'm really appreciative of that what you did, because I forgot to mention it. So during the COVID thing, people couldn't come
Right.
to the community center. So you decided, I'm not going to shut this thing down.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get everybody on Zoom and let's do the classes via Zoom. So that gave our kids something to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
It took them, stopped watching TV, stopped playing video games, and especially Maddie, of course, like she was always looking forward to it because so much happened because of COVID-19 that the kids missed out on. They weren't playing football.
Yes.
They weren't getting to do, Maddie, she made the drill team for high school, but all her camps were canceled. So, I mean, it's been like the lifeline. If it hadn't been for your dance class, like these girls would have been sitting here doing nothing. So that's, once again, that's why I wanted to have you here and just show our appreciation and get your name out there and let you promote yourself, because what you're
Thank
doing is
you.
awesome. And I hope that more kids will get into it. And I hope you get to expand it the way you wanted to.
Thank you.
And I asked you this yesterday because dance is your thing. And I want to know what type, like who, I think we know Michael Jackson. Like, who inspired you? Who were your favorite dancers coming up? And what's your favorite dance movie?
Believe it or not, like I didn't really have any dancers per se that were like my idols. They were all choreographers. And now that I'm looking back on it in retrospect, as I'm sitting here saying it, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
it makes sense now. Mia Michaels, Travis Wall. I mean, from the moment I watched like So You Think You Can Dance.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. That's like your jam,
these
right?
people.
I like
oh,
that show.
My heavens, yes.
Okay.
That's my
okay.
favorite show. One of my
Okay.
favorite shows. But my favorite dance movie is Center Stage.
Have you seen that, Chris?
I have not.
Haley's gonna make you watch it.
Yes.
Haley, I'm putting you on this assignment right now. You're gonna have to sit through it because I've sat through it. It's actually not that bad. It's a would you call it a ballet movie, or is it?
It's about being on point, being in the New York City Ballet,
Okay.
and really going behind the scenes of what it's like to be a dancer, having your body looked at all the time,
Right.
having your feet looked at all the time. Oh, you're not in class, you're late. Oh my gosh, you're not allowed in here. To the actual day of the performance, and you get to see it all come together.
Wow.
It's an amazing movie.
It's a decent flick. Like, I'm
It's
sorry,
decent.
she's like, it's amazing. Okay, you'd be able to sit through it. The saving grace for me was the Michael Jackson routine at the end. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I know,
They do a
right?
Michael Jackson routine at the end.
Yeah.
So that was a saving grace for me. So that's I don't know. I don't know. We were talking shows. Do you remember MTV?
We go
America's Best Dance Crew.
Oh,
Or the Jabberwockies.
the Jabberwockies. I've seen them in Vegas. I follow them around. Oh, I love them.
That's like my
Love
ultimate favorite.
them.
My ultimate
Yes.
favorite. And then this second season, there was a crew out of Houston. They were called So Real Crew. And they still have a
Yes.
dance studio downtown. They were freaking awesome. Man, I just wish I was.
I think I've been to that dance studio actually.
Have you? I wish I was
I can't remember if it was
15 years
them.
younger sometimes, man.
I can't remember if it was them or what. I actually went in and took a class from one of my favorite YouTube stars. It was Matt Stefanina.
Oh, wow.
And it was hip hop. It was all hip hop, of course,
yeah.
But
We don't hang
it
out
was
with Taylor more.
So amazing.
That's pretty awesome. So what do you feel like, you talked about the arts in this area. How would you, because I'm sure you've traveled a lot.
I have.
How would you compare the Houston area to what's going on everywhere else?
So going through college, I was actually really able to see what each part of our country was able to bring.
Mm-hmm.
And the best dance team that I look up to is Brigham Young University. If you go and YouTube them, oh my
Really?
gosh.
The Mormons,
Brigham,
huh?
I kid you not, my very first year of going to NDA
No offense to
Nationals,
Mormons. I just didn't see that coming.
I didn't either, but it's
Yeah.
fine. Went to NDA Nationals, and I remember sitting in the audience watching them for the first time. The entire team did a step aerial to one side and then a chaîné aerial on their bad side. And I was like, you did
Yeah.
not.
Like all in sequence, huh? All together?
They all landed the exact same way. And I was like, as a teacher now, I'm like,
Yeah.
how do you get kids to do that?
That's funny.
But yeah.
That's
Yeah.
funny. So for now, is Harris County, like that's where your focus is right now?
That is where my focus is for now. Just because that's where the kids are coming.
Yeah.
And until I build myself up more,
Mm-hmm.
then we can start thinking about, hey, here's where I want to set up my studio. Here's where I want to go from here.
Okay.
And go down that route.
Ultimately, you would like to break off and
I've been pushing that
do your own thing.
since we.
You're not the only
since
one.
I said, man, what are
Yeah.
you doing? What are you doing? Like, what are we doing all this for? Like, let's get your
Yeah.
own stuff going.
Yeah,
There's
for
just
sure.
so much I want to do with my career in dance
Yeah.
on my own that
Yeah, of
I can't
course.
do, of course, like underneath the umbrella of
Yeah.
Harris County Precinct 2. So they've given me such a wonderful opportunity. It's just now I got to take it and I got to run with it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you another thing I love about Taylor and her story. Because you mentioned you went through some personal difficulties
I did.
that you overcame. And the part that inspires me about you is you're 27 years old and you went to college for something that probably seemed like that's going to be a good career, a good way to make money, right? And
For
you
sure.
would, right. And you would, you'd get the joy and benefit of helping children, but that was like the good career move. You probably, I don't know how your parents were, but there's a lot of people when they tell their parents they want to be in the arts, they're like, okay, like
Yeah.
that's really nice, but for real, what are you gonna do for a job? Like,
Yeah,
you know,
no.
and they don't view something like dance or music as a
Right.
career. And here's a woman at 27 years old who decided this is what I'm gonna do, this is what I love to do, and she's doing the damn thing, bro.
Yeah.
And she does what she loves and wants to do every day. And there's probably going to be hundreds of people listening to this who are just jealous of that. I'm jealous of that. Like, if I could do what I'm doing right now for a living, that'd be awesome. Like, I would love it. But that not everybody is fortunate enough to do that. So I hope you understand how blessed you are.
I am
And,
very blessed. I never thought in a million years I'd be here,
Yeah.
like in this position in my life. I did go through quite the breakup in February and had to turn right back around, put on a face, and go to dance competition the next day.
Oh, wow.
Move
The
everything
next day?
move everything out of my house Friday, Saturday, onto a dance competition.
Wow.
And I can't tell you how big of a stepping stone that was.
Oh yeah.
To sit back and
Absolutely.
Somebody
put on a
decided
face.
right now would be a good time to vacuum.
I thought that was just me. Did you see me take this off? I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, no. Somebody decided now would be a great time to vacuum. Maybe we won't be able to hear it later. I didn't mean to interrupt your
No,
story.
you're fine.
Though,
I actually did think it was my headphones. I was like, wait, what?
got a ringing in my ear. What's going
Yes.
on?
But after that moment, it was, I want to try to do one new thing a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like the first 3 months were blocked out, but COVID-19 hit.
Yeah.
So I went on my first church retreat. I am not a churchgoer. I've never
Right.
been to church in my life.
Right.
Went on a Catholic church retreat.
Oh, wow.
I was like, whoop, this is new.
Wow.
Did my first
Yeah.
confession, I was like, this is totally new to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Was that confession? Let's over under 5 minutes. Let's go.
It was probably over because I literally sat down and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That have to be really awkward, to be honest with you.
But they did make me feel so welcome, and I shout out to St. Luke's for making me feel welcome. But
they probably know all the Miss Taylor college stories.
Catholic's one of the more aggressive religions, right?
There's a
it's
lot
more
of
strict in my
there's a
opinion.
lot
What made you do that? What
So
made you
believe
go
it or not, my family grew up Catholic.
Okay,
And so
okay.
like they all had their godmother, they all had all that stuff.
right.
And me growing up, I didn't go to church. And my parents were like, you're too busy. Just keep doing what you're doing,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And my family kind of is kind of split now that I look at it as an adult between Baptist and Catholic.
Right.
And it's just up to me now to sit back and figure out what I am.
There you go. Yeah. But you decided I'm gonna open up and try some new things.
Oh, for
I
sure.
like that about you. That's pretty cool. Let me ask you how much you want to get into that, because we have a little segment of a show that we're trying to do. It's called Two Peas in a Podcast. Are you familiar with this?
You know what?
This
Now that we're on the record,
This wasn't a trap, by the way.
I legit almost reached out to the two of you, and I was like, should I?
Why didn't
Let's
you?
go.
But then I was like,
Taylor.
I don't know.
Taylor.
Like, am I ready for that?
I'll tell you what.
It's not going to hurt nothing.
I'll tell you what.
That's true.
It's not going to hurt nothing.
You ask the people who actually reached out to me. If you're not ready, I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
Ask the people who reached out to me.
Yep.
I was like, you know what? Nah, you're not ready. I'm gonna be honest. Look, I consider myself. I'm like Dr. Phil without the bachelor. Or what is he? Without the doctorate. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I was
I'm
like,
Dr. Phil.
bachelor's, you're going a little low there, bud.
I'm Dr. Phil without the doctor. I don't know if Dr. Phil actually is a doctor. Like,
he does have his doctorate.
okay, and
I'm pretty
it's
sure.
confirmed. It's
you
confirmed.
can confirm that in the comments.
I mean, we call him Dr. Phil because Oprah said he was a doctor. We don't really know. Has anybody seen his degree? Think about it.
Just a
Anyway.
TV show.
I just watch them yell at little punk ass kids and get a kick out of it.
It is pretty
Get me
funny.
outside.
So that's so funny that you said you almost reached out.
did.
I'm gonna tell you that olive branch is extended to you because we had some interesting people try to qualify, and I was just very honest with them. Like, hey, I like you. I just don't know if this is the right thing for you. I don't know if you're ready yet. I had a couple of ladies lined up that I felt were very qualified. They ended up getting in relationships before
See,
we were able to.
I'm hustling right now. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
at
yeah.
that point in my life where it's like,
You're focused.
you either on the train with me or adios.
there you go.
See, and
There you
that is the perfect look. I told you over the phone, like, I really hope I don't. I'm a feminist. I truly believe that I am. And I hope that I don't come across as anything but. I have 2 daughters. I love them very much. I want them to believe that the world is their oyster because the world is their oyster. And they can do anything that they want to. And I don't want them to have to depend on anyone else to make their dreams happen. And if it ever sounds like, I don't want to ever sound like I'm putting women down, but there's just so many women who are not doing the necessary things to bring positive results back to them. They're putting out an energy that's just not good. And that's what I like about you is you put out that good vibe. You put out that good energy. And I told you, like, whether you want it to happen now or 5 years from now, whenever you decide, like, I know that when it's your time, the energy you put out is going to bring about the right person. And if it just so happens to be on the Two Peas in a Podcast, that wouldn't make me mad.
So it explain this whole idea because
Okay.
I saw it and I was like,
What year were you born?
1993.
1993.
3.
So was the dating game a thing in 1993? I think it still was. Do you remember the dating game? Here in the dating game, what would happen? You'd have a bachelor or a bachelorette, and everybody would know who this person is. But there would be 3 anonymous. If it was a woman, there'd be 3 anonymous bachelors who she would get to ask questions to, but she can't see them.
Oh.
So if you were sitting here, you would have 3 guys asking
We would
questions.
probably bring them in on the
wouldn't-
phone.
You wouldn't know what they look like.
You would get to ask them questions based on what is important to you in a relationship, and based on their answers,
I
would
gotta ask them questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get to ask them
I
questions.
get to be in the driver's seat.
Exactly.
That's
You're the bachelorette. That's how you're giving out the roses. So what I would say
You're
is
giving out the roses.
What happens if I don't hand out a rose?
Then
that could be. But here's the deal: we're gonna send you on a free date with somebody, and just see how it goes. Like, what's it gonna hurt? All we want you to do is pick one of these bachelors. We're gonna foot the bill. We're gonna send you guys on a date somewhere. I would honestly like to document that date. We haven't decided exactly how the logistics of that is going to work. Maybe we'll just document the before and then the after.
Be sitting
then,
at a table or like in the
That would be
movie
tough.
theater.
That would be tough to document.
All I got to do is set that camera at a table while they're having dinner.
But how? I don't
That's
know.
not awkward.
That's about to say, that'd be awkward, man. Like,
Come
having to
on,
put
they
a
do it on
show
reality
Microphone
shows.
us up or something.
They
I
do
don't
it on
know.
reality shows
They
all
do.
the time.
They do.
That's the part that I said I'm not sure about because I don't know
You
that
could bring
people
them
are
both back and be like,
Yeah.
how did it go? Or do it
Well, you got to tell the
separately.
truth though.
Yeah.
Because if the camera's not there, like we got to tell the truth. But yeah, basically we would have you back to kind of give an update. Like, how'd the date go? You guys gonna see each other again? Like,
Well, because I've made the promise to myself to do one new thing a month,
uh oh.
I'll give it to you. I'll do
What?
it.
What?
Did we get it? Did we just get it?
Ladies and gentlemen,
We got it.
I hope that there are some eligible and qualified young men. Well, I say young men. Let's let's get into this. Like, do you have an age limit on somebody that you would consider?
Well,
Let's
I
not
mean,
even
I'm
say in a romantic
27.
relationship. You're gonna go have dinner with a person. That's all. That's all we're gonna call this.
Yeah.
We're gonna foot the bill for you to go have a nice dinner with somebody and see what happens. So, is there an age limit on this?
Well, no. I mean, no matter what age you are, I'm 27 and I'm extremely active. So if you
Right,
can keep up
right.
with me,
Yeah.
Okay. I'm really excited about this. I can't believe this happened live and in living color. Oh man, like okay, the possibilities are endless now. Okay, so you're
Like
on
Nick
board.
getting all
I'm gonna give you
excited.
some time to think about it because you're agreeing to this right now. Maybe you'll go home and sleep on it, and I don't know. But
nope, that's part
Late-
of the thing. Once I agree to it, I got to do it.
There you
so,
go.
like,
I
once
love
I'm
it.
in,
it
I'm
is
in.
a done thing. Okay,
love it.
ladies and gentlemen, we have our first Bachelorette. It is Taylor Brooks. She is 27 years old from Pasadena, Texas, and she's active. So you better get your dancing shoes, get you some sneakers because she's gonna take you to the gym.
Very true.
Okay, so this
CrossFit.
is great. So to all of you who may be listening who are not familiar, the Two P's in a podcast, what we've been asking is for anybody who is serious about actually possibly finding a relationship. I'm not saying you have to end up in a relationship, but I'm looking for people who are serious about it. Don't just come because you want free food. I mean,
Yeah.
first of all, we haven't decided where we're going to send you. Depending on where it is, you might just get a piece of that check cut off. We might not pay for the whole thing. Who knows? like the Smells Like Middle-Aged Spirit podcast is in the red right now. So just so you know.
Well, maybe
But
I
we're
should
go-
rethink
No. We're going to do our best. We're going to send you somewhere nice. And it's a tax
Gourmet
write.
number 2 from McDonald's.
It's a tax write-off for us. So at the end of the day, we're good. But no. So some of you gentlemen who have reached out to me, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try, this is what I will promise you. I feel like I have a really good, what I call a D-bag filter. So
I hope you do.
I think I have the D-bag filter that some of you ladies out there need that maybe you've been missing in your life. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that the 3 choices that are presented to you are 3 quality choices. That I will promise you. And we're going to have to find a time to bring you back and get this thing done. So I want the people who are interested to reach out to us at nbc.pod@gmail.com. That is how you contact us. I'm still looking for more submissions by video. Tell us your story. Tell us why you deserve to find a partner in crime. And maybe it's going to be Taylor. We will see. I promise you I will do my due diligence. This is more important to me now because it's you than it was ever going to be. I'm just letting you know right now. Like, we're going to do the damn thing. We're going to do the damn thing. Another contest that we have while we're talking about our contest. First of all, how'd you like sitting in that chair?
Oh, I love it.
You think you could do this? Let's just put you in all our contests. Because we have a So You Think You Can podcast contest as well.
Oh my. It's funny you actually say that because I started listening to podcasts like the self-help and the self-love podcasts when I was going through everything. And I was like, how does this actually work?
Yeah.
And so you actually caught me at like the right time. And I was like, I'm going to do a new thing.
Yeah.
I love this.
Okay.
This is great.
let's find you love and possibly get you to host this show. No,
Oh, Lord.
I love it.
Here we go.
So the So You Think You Can podcast, the mistake I made with this right now is it is a very Facebook central contest. And we'll this isn't the first time we're going to do this. Look, you guys know you're going through the growing pains with us. Right now, if you go and you share our website page, which you can find on our Facebook page, share that with 15 people. Get those 15 people to tag us in a post that says hashtag podcast takeover and your name to vote for you. We're looking for somebody to host our show for one episode, completely customized. That intro you heard us do, it's going to have your name on it. The outro have your name on it. And we will make custom promo videos for you. I think it's cool. If anybody's interested in maybe getting a jump start or seeing what podcasting is like,
Seeing what goes into it.
seeing everything that goes
there's
into it.
So much
There's a lot that goes into this stuff behind the scenes.
And I we had Chris Kahn on last week, and he's one of the people who helped me get going. And I always felt this need to like pay that forward. So I thought that would be a cool opportunity to, number one, show somebody the ropes, and then get our audiences hear something different. Because hopefully they're not tired of us. We're only 24 episodes in, so I hope they're not sick of us yet.
Y'all done awesome. And this is such a fun podcast to listen to.
Yeah, we're having a good time doing it. And, we wanted to raise the bar in this second season and get some more interaction with our listeners. So I am really excited about the 2 Ps in the podcast now. I was starting to think that it wasn't going to happen. I was going around telling people like, man, I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, Taylor Brooks, you've already seen in this episode how wonderful she is. She's a beautiful young lady. She's got a great spirit, wonderful soul. We're not gonna let you do it wrong. That's for sure. If there is a problem, you got some problem. You got a problem. Let's just put it that way. If you give her a problem, then you're gonna have a problem.
You in real trouble.
So you have a sister who also dances.
I do.
Is she your only sibling? You have any brothers?
No, I have a brother that's 3 years younger than me. I'm the oldest. And then me
So
and my
he's gonna kick some ass too.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
You're gonna get the whole family on you. But sorry, I'm a family girl.
And the kids too. All the kids
Yes.
from Miss Taylor's Dance Academy.
And when all that went down with my previous partner, my sister, I have never seen her like it. Never seen her. That kid doesn't have a bad bone in her body.
Yeah, she's a sweet kid.
And man, she was steaming.
Ooh,
I was
fired
like,
up.
ooh, man. But
Yeah.
she's 13 years younger than me.
Okay.
And so when she came into my life, I was kind of like, oh, okay, it's just going to be me and my brother.
Yeah.
My mom took us to Casa Ley, pulled out the little sonogram and was like,
Oh, I thought you were going to say pregnancy test. I was like, not on the dinner
no.
table.
The
That is
sonogram.
nasty.
And I remember looking at it going, no,
Yeah.
absolutely not. And I ran into the bathroom and locked myself in the bathroom.
Oh,
And
man.
now you look at us now and we're like best friends. Like I love her to death.
The dynamic between you guys is so interesting. And I told you this when we were doing our pre-show interview, is that most younger siblings like try to do the exact opposite of what their older siblings look like. My brother, when he was really young, like he used to like worship the ground I walked on until I beat his spirits down so much by being a jackass to him. So finally he was like, I'm gonna do the exact opposite of whatever Nick does, right? And now that we're older and we're both fathers, like we've gotten close, but it's most of the time I see siblings like want to separate themselves from what their older siblings doing, not live in that shadow. But like I know you said she's taking her own path with cheer, but like sometimes I'll like when we were at the recital for the previous place you were working at, when she would get up and dance, I'm like, is that Taylor? No. Like, because you guys,
A skinnier version of me on stage.
when you guys put on the makeup, like the heavy makeup for the show, like you guys look like twins, and I'm like, no, that's not Taylor.
You put our baby picture side by side. She's literally my clone 13 years later.
Really?
Just
That's
with green
crazy.
eyes and more blonde hair.
Wow.
It's insane.
So
but
dancing's in the blood. That's awesome.
Dance has been in the family. My grandmother started up her own little drill program. My great aunt did it. And so I guess it was just my turn.
Does your brother dance?
Wow.
He wishes he could dance. Nah, he was the
All
athletic.
the talent went to the girls.
He was our big athletic boy. He's the reason that got me into football and baseball, and I loved watching him, so I started to love watching it on TV.
Wow.
Right. Cool. Man, this has been fun. This has been
I agree.
It's been a good time. So I learned some stuff about you that I didn't know. And You can hang with us. You're officially in the crew. I'll tell you that.
Thank you.
We keep a tight circle, man. But I think you can sit with us. I like it.
Finally, I'm just kidding.
So, I mean, what's the message you want to send to parents out there who maybe are thinking about doing it, hesitant about it? Like, first of all, what can you handle right now? Because you're still.
We're looking. Let me say I'm looking to triple my numbers in the next session.
Okay.
To go from 70.
Now, this is still Zoom? Or are you talking?
This will be when we actually hit the community center.
Okay.
So up until then, we are going to be doing YouTube. We're going to be doing virtual until I can get into the parks and start doing things outside. But they'll be just little pop-up classes.
Yeah.
But if you are hesitant, don't be. I mean, that's the biggest thing is to get kids out there and get them moving again and keeping them healthy because, we can't keep them inside forever.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So again, tell everybody how to get a hold of you if they're interested. So your next session, you're not sure if it's going to be Zoom yet.
Right. Once we
It could be Zoom, it could be outdoors.
Once we get the green light for the parks, then it's fair game.
Okay.
Like, I'm getting in there.
Do you have a deadline on when you want to get started?
I wish I did, but the pandemic throws a big wrench in things.
It really does. It really does.
I have parents that are already like, can we start up Zoom again? I'm like, give me a break.
Yeah, for real.
Let me take it. Because I stayed up, the recital itself, I stayed up a full 24 hours before that recital. Just to be sure everything was right. I didn't even watch it the first time around.
Yeah.
That's why I had to turn my camera off. I was pacing. I was like, and I had my mom on her phone. I was like, is it still working? Can you still see it? And
wow.
Yeah.
So for the listeners to know, since all the kids were doing classes through Zoom, Taylor decided just to record everyone and make a recital with their Zoom videos. And I think it came
we
out.
didn't really mention that.
Dude.
Yeah. I forgot that we didn't mention that, but it turned out freaking awesome.
Phenomenal.
And what's your YouTube channel?
So right now it's under Miss Taylor's online dance classes so that I can grow it into an online dance platform.
Mm-hmm.
The recital itself is considered unlisted, so you won't really see it on the YouTube channel.
Okay.
I did that because they're kids.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
and
true.
so I just wanted to be safe.
Yeah.
But we do have the link. I mean, if anyone wants to check out my work. So.
Yeah, for sure. I think you did a bang up job. It was awesome. And once we worked through the technical difficulties, trust me, we know all about those.
Man.
So
I was in panic mode. Mode.
And I felt bad because I was like, I bet Taylor's kind of freaking out right now. But I'm like, you know what? This is par for the course in 2020, baby. There was no way in the world that I was gonna go off with no hits, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just how 2020 has been. So
on one computer, I was trying to upload the YouTube video, and that took forever.
Yeah.
Well, eventually I shut that sucker down and said, you know what? We're going to work on one computer. No one else is on the Wi-Fi.
Right. Shutting all of it down.
Yes. I shut the whole house down.
Wow.
And people were coming in and out of the house. I was like, shh, don't you talk.
That's what's up.
Even the dog, the poor dog, I was like, put her in the kennel.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a great job. I hope you get the turnout that you're looking for.
Thank you.
Miss Taylor's Dance Academy at gmail.com.
Yes.
Correct? Guys, send her an email if you're interested in getting your kids involved. We're not sure what's going to happen next. It could be outside at the parks. That would be great. Could be Zoom conference again. Hopefully, sooner than later, we'll be back in the community centers. And hopefully, you'll be able to spread your program throughout the precinct like you wanted to. So any other messages for the kids, for the parents? Like, I'm glad you're here. I just want to make sure you feel like you let it all out when you leave.
If you want to follow Harris County Precinct 2, we're all over social media. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You'll get the inside scoop right when we open stuff, and it's right there.
Yeah. And then, cool. And then they're going to contact you via that email address.
Yes.
Awesome.
Please
awesome.
do.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We've been jabber-jawing for about an hour now. I don't want to take up too much of your time. You're a busy woman. I know you keep it moving around. We just want to thank all of our listeners for supporting. And once again, if you're interested in, getting your kids involved in Taylor's program, please email her, Miss Taylor's Dance Academy at gmail.com. We want to give a quick shout out to all of our sponsors, Stephen Terry, Pest Control. Stephen, we need you to come sit in this chair, bud. We're waiting on you. I'm going to get in touch with you. But Stephen Terry, Pest Elimination, he's helped both of us out. So this isn't one of those things where we're just trying to sell something that we don't have any experience with. Like Stephen Terry's a down to earth dude. He's a great guy, and he works his tail off. Also, Sarah Cooligan, who will be our guest on September 5th on her birthday. I'm saying it again, Sarah, so you have to be here. But she runs Urban Soap Bar and urbansoapbar.com. We thank you so much for your support. We thank Joshua Beard, the guy who's the reason that we're here right now. He's a realtor for Keller Williams. He's the best in the biz. That's just my opinion, but he's the best in the biz. Make sure you guys give him a call. And then we want to thank Banerjee Plastic Surgery, my baby Whitney. You guys call her up. Let her know you listen to the Smells Like Middle-Aged Spirit podcast. She's going to hook you up with all types of discounts, including $1,000 off of any procedure that you do. And then popsocks.com. This one's close to my heart because of Marquise Williams, former Houston Roughneck. He's now doing roof inspection. He's not playing football right now, but he's doing the damn thing to take care of his family. And he started a website called popsocks.com. All types of cool, different, weird design socks. If you're into that type of thing, there's anything you like, it's on there. Go to popsocks.com and put in the promo code Spirit Sniffers. You're going to get 10% off your order. And I'm looking forward to giving him a design so he can put some Smells Like Middle-Aged Spirit socks in that.
There we go.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's get some Smells Like Middle-Aged Spirit podcast socks in there. So thank you to all of our affiliates, all of our sponsors. Thank you to all of our listeners for continued support. The studio, it's almost done. We're trying to work on visual, audio, but the biggest thing we want to do is give you something quality to listen to and something to distract you from all the negativity. So I hope that that's what we did today. Taylor, once again, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to get us out of here. Thank you all for listening. My name is Nick Stevenson.
And my name's Chris Clark. And we'll see y'all next time.
You've been listening to the Smells Like Middle-Aged Spirit podcast with Nick and Chris. For more show content, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.